But there was another interesting thing when we got back. There were two people who met him in Harlem. We didn't have an appointment with the White House, but Governor Rockefeller of New York was there, and Malcolm X was there. And Malcolm X wouldn't come out on the stage. He said, but I wanted to congratulate you, and I wanted to let you know that I really admire and respect what you're doing. I just think I need to stay separate in case what you're doing doesn't work. And Governor Rockefeller said, you're giving away this money. You can't afford to, if you can afford to give it away to the other civil rights organizations, I can certainly afford to match it. So it was the beginning of an acceptance. And after Governor Rockefeller matched it, then Lyndon Johnson, who was thinking he might have to run against Rockefeller soon, said, well, I better get them down to Washington. And that was the meeting where President Johnson said he didn't have the power to introduce voting rights legislation. And he just kept saying, I don't have the power. I wish I had the power. When we left, I asked Dr. King, well, what did you think? He said, this, again, 5'7", 160 pounds of strong black man with such a towering sense of dignity. He said, I think we got to find a way to get this president some power. And that was the middle of December. On the 2nd of January, we started in Selma. By the end of March, the president was standing up before a joint session of Congress introducing voting rights legislation.
I think it's a great story because it takes this intangible and makes it very tangible, right? Power, tangible power to move something. How have you seen, John, if you will, the implications of that? We saw it in individuals like Rockefeller. How about for the city of Atlanta?
Well, I think that the fact that you've got a mayor who happens to be black in a city that happens to be multicultural, that has made all the right moves on moral issues, and at a time when Dr. King won the Nobel, a lot of the business leaders didn't want to honor him, but the Coca-Cola, the largest company in Atlanta, in the South, said, the CEO said, if you don't honor this man, we're going to move out of this, he said, backward city, and move and take our place up, because he just won the most important international award on the planet, and we're a multinational corporation, and we got to do business around the world. If you don't get it and don't honor this man, we're out of here. The ballroom was packed. Every leader in town found a reason to like Dr. King when Coca-Cola said, there is not only a moral imperative, there's a business imperative. Those things are intertwined with each other. It's enlightened self-interest, and we got to do the right thing. And I think that is a version of what Ambassador Young just said. It's a version of what the story I told very badly about Birmingham and Atlanta. But I think it is an accurate story of what I said about the power, the knock-on power of I say this respectfully, a little black boy from Alabama who had a voice, had a vision, put his life on the line, lived for something larger and important than himself, was recognized by Crown Prince Haakon's grandfather and others, got the Nobel, and that moral authority washed right back over on Atlanta and created an enormous economic impact for the city that this generation is still feeling. People don't even know Dr. King beyond I Have a Dream are benefiting from his life and legacy.
What's the status today and the state today of human dignity? You deal, Bernice, with so many young people. How do they feel? Do they feel like they are living experience with human dignity or not?
Well, I don't know if I can answer that because I haven't talked to every young person, but...
You can be anecdotal if you choose.
Well, when I look at our society and I consider the state of our youth, I would say that they probably feel that there is a lack of dignity and respect for them. I mean, and Uncle Andy knows this well, but my father used to say that violence is the language of the unheard. And if you look at the way in which we have prioritized our society, in every area, young people are last. We don't invest in them. We don't invest in their future. We don't invest in their health. And that's why Operation Hope is so wonderful, because there's a heavy emphasis on empowering that next generation with financial tools. And not just a sense of money, but a sense of dignity with money. And we need this to spread all over the place, because, you know, I find that it's the craziest thing. I don't know what it is, but money makes people feel better and act better. I mean, the Bible says it best. It says, money answereth all things. It also says the love of money is the root of all evil. But the fact of the matter is, money and opportunities that come with it give you a sense of self-confidence. And there's so many, you know, not to veer off, I'm going to give you this. I was listening to a radio show, and I can't remember the name of the radio show. I'm not good at doing stuff like that. I don't remember the names of the parties, but the essence of it was a discussion about the minimum wage. And, you know, there's a lot of that going on now, and about raising the minimum wage. And a gentleman who had, in the last couple of years, had opened a restaurant. I think it was up in Michigan. And he and his business partner decided that they were going to set the minimum salary at, I think, $12. And so the host of the show asked him, well, did you all, you know, consider the minimum wage when you did this or whatever? He said, I just thought it was the fair and the right thing to do. And he said, because I want my employees, I want the people who come here, our customers, to feel good. I want them to have a good experience. And if your employees don't feel like they are well financed in their life, then it's going to impact how they treat the customers. And so within a short period of time, they did so well, he increased it to $15. Why do I say this? When you look at our society today, I have a personal opinion about minimum wage. We always wait until a law tells us what to do in terms of what's right. But when you're like a Martin Luther King Jr., when you're like an Andrew Young, John Hope Bryant, then you don't wait until a law or a policy tells you this is the right thing to do.